Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the book review. Alright, hello everybody. Today we're just gonna have a fun little chat as we go through the mid-year book freakout tag. I can't remember if I did this one last year or not. I meant to check before I sat down, but I usually try to do this one every year. I know in one of the recent years I missed it. It got so close to like the end of the year that I just ended up not doing it, but I wanted to do it this year, and I just recently did do all my 6-star reads and then my like 5-star reads so far this year, so I will kind of reference that a couple times during this video. But this is a tag that was originally created by, I believe their names are Earl Grey Books was the name. And it's so fun to me to some of these tags that have just been around forever to see who originally created them. I just love to see that. So definitely go check out their channel if I remember to tag them down below or see who else is mentioning them. But I wasn't tagged in this that I have seen by anyone. Maybe someone did, but I was already had this on my schedule to do this month, so if anyone has tagged me, thank you so much, but I already had it on my plan to do anyway. And if you are in the book space, whether in romance or not, this is a really fun tag to do if you're looking for a video to get on your schedule this month. I'm repeating myself, I'm so sorry. The brain fog is still with me a little bit. Had some migraines this week that have really kind of taken me out, so I wanted a video that was a little bit easier to do where I can just follow the questions and answer them instead of having to come up with stuff myself, and a tag video is nice to be able to do that for. And it's also fun. So let's go through these. And I didn't write down the questions verbatim for this, but there are 13 questions and they each are a different prompt that makes you look back on your year, as well as ask some questions about like what you're hoping to still get to for the rest of the year. So starting off, there is what has been your best book so far this year. And again, that is where I will reference the video that I already made, which are my top 10 favorites so far this year. But the way that it's looking, sorry, getting a tickle already. The way that it's looking right now, my favorite book is probably going to be Unbound by Peyton Curran. But we shall see. We still have quite a few months to go. But this is a college romance. Hockey romance. Hockey romance has, I mean, I would say it's been a staple for me for the past few years, so that's nothing new. But there's just something so powerful, so moving for me about how Peyton Curran writes. I just love this story so much. And the couple in here, this is actually a second chance romance, if you can believe it. It's kind of hard sometimes to have like a second chance when characters are so young themselves, but they meet when they are freshmen in college and they get a second chance when they are seniors. But it was just very emotional. There's a lot that they go through, and when they get brought back together, it was so beautiful getting to see it happen. And yeah, I just love them so much. So this is probably going to be my favorite book, or one of them, but a couple of my others that are on my favorites list we'll be talking about in different ways on here as well, including one that is for best sequel. And so I picked for that one The Rise of Ink and Smoke, which I'm actually going to be rereading this one shortly. Because I need to annotate this one for one of my annotated pre-orders that I'm doing. So this one is technically a spin-off, but I mean, it's also a sequel. It's a continuation in a world that Pam Godwin created. So this is part of the Frozen Fate world. The original trilogy came out in 2025. Did it really come out in 2025? Was it that recent that it did, or was it 2024? I don't even remember now. But that was the Hills of Shivers and Shadows, Cage of Ice and Echoes, and Heart of Frosted Scars, and that was about a like why choose relationship. And then this is a MMF relationship about one of the characters who like wasn't a part of the why choose And he never really should have been a part of the Why Choose. Let me be clear about that. But let's just say he maybe feels left out. And even though the rest of us are like, yeah, you weren't really meant to be a part of that Why Choose anyway. But this is his story, and I found it very moving. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to rereading it. And that's hopefully going to happen in the next week or so, because I need to get it reread and annotated for everybody. So very powerful story. Very dark though. I mean, Pam Godwin doesn't take it easy on anyone, so be prepared if you go into that. I'm not really doing reviews of these for this tag because this is supposed to be a more easy and fun video today. So we're not doing the hard deep dive on all of these anyway. Okay, next was a new release that you haven't got to yet. And I picked a few for that. Let me make sure. Ugh. Yes, I picked 3 to show for that. That I actually just had in a recent book haul that I showed. So these were 3 recent releases I want to get to in order of kind of importance for me. So I have Score by Kennedy Ryan. I want to get the audiobook for this one and get to it. This is the next book in her Hollywood Renaissance series, coming after Real. This one is supposed to be a second chance romance, and her books are always so moving, so powerful. So definitely want to give this one a go. There is also The Ballad of Falling Dragons by Sarah A. Parker. I do already have the audio ready for this one as well. And the same goes for Rights of the Starling. These are actually all second books in a series. So yeah, these ones are all books that I've been anticipating and just haven't gotten around to them because my TBR list is long and varied. So, and substantial is more what I meant. Okay, so, upcoming releases, let me do that. Most anticipated that I haven't got to yet. Okay, so some of those are Devil by Sierra Simone. So I'm very much looking forward to that. 2 others, of course, ACOTAR 6. I hope we were getting the title soon. It's got to be soon. We're getting closer to October, which I hate to say, but also I am very much looking forward to that. And then one that I just received the physical arc for is Ravenous. Talked about this in the book haul. Looking forward to this as well. So those are some anticipated ones. There are, of course, so many more, and that's why I also make my videos, which are anticipated quarterly. I make those, so you can always keep an eye out for those if you want to know what I'm looking forward to reading. All right, next, number 5 here, we have Biggest Disappointments. So I also have 3 for this one. So I have 2 that are a little bit lesser, and then 1 that is truly, I think, my biggest disappointment. So one, this I consider a semi-disappointment because I DNF'd it, and that was The Last Contract of Aseko by Fonda Lee. And granted, I don't, like I said, this is kind of my least because I didn't fully finish it, but I was just sad because this being one of the few non-romance that I was reading this year, like I only try to read a couple each year. And I had such good luck with Fonda Lee a couple years back, right, with the Greenbone Saga. And I was just really looking forward to a sci-fi read from her. I felt like it had such good potential for what the story was saying it was about, but I just did not connect with the character like at all. Whereas in Greenbone Saga, there were so many characters I connected with. So even though it wasn't like normally a story I would love so much, I absolutely did. And with this one, I just did not. So unfortunately, this one was a miss for me, and I don't know if I ever will go back and finish it, but maybe I will grab the audio someday and push through it. Maybe I'll get it from like the library or something. But that was a disappointment because that was a really anticipated read from me. And I even got an e-arc of it from Orbit. And so I was like, yay, I actually got an arc of it. And then it was a big disappointment. So I was really sad. Another disappointment was Sullivan by Melanie Moreland. I'm so sad about this because this was the next like Mafia book from Melanie Moreland, though I would call it kind of like Mafia adjacent from her, because it was like the mob like lawyer kind of book. Though what I ended up learning after I finished this, I had an audio an ALC of this one, I ended up learning that this was originally a short, like a novella that was in an anthology, and then it was expanded. And once I learned that, I understood, because it felt the beginning of the story was really rushed, and then it just like drug on and on. And when I went to write my review, I saw a note that this was originally included in an anthology and then it was expanded to be its own story. And I was like, okay, that's exactly what my reading experience was. I just didn't feel like it was expanded upon very well. And the couple just got together immediately because, again, it was originally only like 100-page story. And I don't think there was enough meat on the bone for it to be a full-length book. I think she should have just left it as a novella then, because at least the pacing would have made sense. So, but the biggest disappointment, which I did a very long rambling review for just, I think, last week, was Frozen Heart by Neva Altai. This was one of my most anticipated reads of 2026 because she writes some of the best Mafia Romance that I've read in the past couple years, and this was a big flop for me. I won't opine on it anymore because I, again, talked about it for like 15 minutes in my last weekly wrap-up, but I was really disappointed in just so much about this book. The pacing, particularly the male main character, was the worst one of hers I'd read. I didn't understand his motivation. I didn't like him. I didn't like the resolution. I didn't like how it ended. So this was my least favorite of hers I've read. And it's the longest of her books too. So it just felt like a double whammy of like, I sat through so much waiting for a relief at the end and I didn't get it. So very disappointed in that. Okay. Then who was a favorite new to you author, either as a debut or just new to me? So for this, a new to me, and I believe they were a debut as well, I can't recall, but it was new to me, was Sable Sorensen with Direbound. I read Direbound at the request of an annotated pre-order, and then I ended up buying a copy of Direbound and Furybound myself, which this will come back up in a moment, I believe, or will it? Maybe it won't. I don't know. This is one of the yeah. That'll come back later. But I really ended up enjoying this. It's like how they describe it. It's kind of like Fourth Wing meets The Hunger Games with dire wolves. And I just really enjoyed it. I had a fun time reading this one. And yeah, it was the first. I had never read Sable Sorensen before. So that was a new to me author that I really enjoyed. Okay, newest fictional crush. So this is like kind of a cheat, kind of not, because I guess met this character last year, but I would say they really, really became my fictional crush this year. So that's why I'm putting them this year, because I have read objectively more pages about this character this year than anyone else. And so, yeah, that's going to be Ilya Rosanov. He's my fictional crush. You know, he is. He absolutely is. And of course, I'm not just talking about Unheated Rivalry and The Long Game, though I did reread both of them this year multiple times. But also just in the amount of fanfic that I've read. I have read, what is my total up to now? I believe I'm up to almost 70 fanfics. I just put up another video like last week. That was another 25 Holinov fics. And Ilya is just my favorite. I love it. I mean, I love Shane too. I absolutely do. But I mean, I think a lot of us would say we love Ilya, and fanfic writers certainly do. And so he's my fictional crush. I love him. I love him. I love him. And when I was trying to pick another one, I mean, I could pick one from one of my other 6-star reads, but Shane and Ilya are just who I've read the most pages about. I adore them so much. And so The next question actually is your newest favorite like character, because it was crush and then character, and I was struggling finding like my favorite character. And so for that, I'm just gonna say then, like, I'm just gonna say Shane. I'll say my favorite crush is Ilya, and I'll say my favorite character is Shane. Then I can name both of them because I just love reading them. I have read probably at least, well, not probably, I've read at least 10 fics every month, usually more. That's one of the things I was going to show. I was going to show this at the beginning, but I'll show it now. So one of the things I have been doing this year, and I've showed this a couple times, is I've been doing this book tris. So like book Tetris, and each book that I read has a different like shape that it corresponds with. And then I'm filling up this thing like a Tetris. And fanfics are this little green shape. And as you can see, most of what I've read, like half of what I've read, has been fanfics. And as I've also shared, only one of those fanfics was a Harry Potter fic. I read one Pansy Neville fic this year, and then all of it's been Holinoff. And that's been amazing. Like, truly so much fun. Just the best. And yeah, I'm nowhere near stopping. Like, I thought I was maybe in May slowing down a little bit. Like, maybe I was easing up with how much I was reading it. And a lot of that was because, you know, I did have the Mafia Romance readathon, and so I only read 9 fanfics in May. I was like, oh wow, maybe we're slowing down a little bit, maybe. And then already this month, we're like still booking it. So I'm in no mode of stopping. Like, when I'm having a tough time, which June, I've been struggling a bit again with my mood and with migraines and stuff, my comfort reads are 1000% Holinoff fanfics. And so my fictional crush and my favorite character is Ilya Rozanov and Shane Hollander. They're who I want to read about all the time. And I just don't know what I would do, like, without those fics to read. Just make me so happy. It makes me so happy. I really want to reread The Long Game again, though. I probably will do that soon. Just because I like to put canon back in my head every now and then. But yeah. Okay, so, here we go. A book that made you cry. This was easy to choose because I did just reread this one and annotate it, and it still made me just bawl. It was Silent Flames by Kate C. Wells. Again, if you watch my video about my top 10 books of 2026, I go in a lot more detail about this book again. But this book, it will not be for everyone. I mean, no book is for everyone, yada, yada, yada. But this book starts off with a man cheating on his wife, and then it goes into like deconstructing how we got here and what led to it. And I swear to you, if you never thought you could forgive a man for cheating on his wife, like if you're like me, and you can't see any scenario where you would be okay. And again, that's not the point. Your point isn't to be okay, because you're not okay with him doing it. But if you're someone like me who never thought you can read like an acceptable situation where it happened, and you're okay with kind of dark-ish romance, I wouldn't say it's super dark either. It's mostly that for like the emotions they go through. I almost dare you to try this book, because I only was willing to read it because I trust Kate C. Wells, and I had seen some of my friends really loving it. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it because I trust Kate C. Wells. She'd made me like scenarios I don't really love before, and it just crushed me. And when I tell you, by the time I even write it down, like there's a certain point in the book I hit each time where I'm sobbing for Adrian, the man. I'm sobbing for him about what he did, and I feel bad for him for what he did. It's truly a mind fuck that you can feel bad and understand why he was fucking someone else. Like, it's every time I step into it, I'm like, there's no way that I can be all right with this. And like, again, you're not all right with it, but you want them to work it out. And it's amazing. So, a book that made you happy. And this is also one that I just read. And again, it's probably because that the happy buzz of it is still in me. But I was so happy to gush about this one recently. And that is Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. I gushed about this one a bunch. This was one I also annotated for someone. And I hadn't read a Lucy Score in a long time. But this was a home improvement one. This woman who is a like YouTuber who does house flips with her ex-husband, who's now her gay best friend. She moves to this small town and she ends up with this contractor she's going to work with, who he basically instantly is into her. And again, if you watch my weekly wrap up from last week, I read a couple lines from it, but one of the lines is like, he starts at her feet and works his way up, and he's like cataloging her outfit, and it says like he's in lust with her, but he's in lust with like how she's wearing these like dirty work boots and coveralls, and he can tell that she actually gets really hands-on with her projects. So it's so cute because there's so many stories we read where like they're into like her tits or her lips, or he's obsessed with something sexual. And it says he's in lust with her before he ever gets to her face, based on he can tell she's a tough worker and that she's really into what she's doing, and he's just obsessed with her. And I don't know, it was so cute. And I love the whole town. I love how he gets like his siblings in on helping him win this woman over. And I mean, the book is even called Maggie Moves On. Like, she's going to do this house flip and she's going to leave. And he is like, I'm going to make you never want to leave me. And she's like, dude, I'm going to leave when we're done. And he's like, no, I'm going to make you want to stay. And I mean, it's a romance, so you'll see. But it's so cute. It made me really happy. Okay, so then number 12 is The Most Beautiful Book That You Bought. And I'll be honest, I was really struggling with this one. I have so many pretty books this year. So yeah, I was really struggling with which one to show. I didn't know which one to show, you guys. So sorry, I'm actually kind of like pooping out on this one here, because I kind of really, really love the Rights of the Starling one. I love the like, it's almost like a crow's wing here, where it's like black with the purple underneath there. And I do really love how the Fury Bound one too as well, like the underneath of this. And then for a couple cover, because you know we don't get too many of those these days, I do also adore Unbound. And I really like that the first two books in the series are getting these type of covers as well. We'll finally be getting those soon. And then when Undone comes out, that one will also have a couple covers. So I do think this one's really beautiful as well. So those are some, but I don't know. There weren't as many as beautiful ones as normal, I feel like. So there's that. Okay, and then the final question is a book that you need to read before the end of the year. So for this, I took as the challenge as like not one of the anticipated ones or a new release that you haven't read yet. So ones that are like previous releases that I still haven't got to yet, but want to read. And I have 3 for that. So I have Love Song by Al Kennedy, which has just been sitting around. And of course, like a lot of people, I've been revitalized to read this one because of, you know, the show coming out, and I reread The Deal, and I really want to read, you know, John Logan's son, and, and yeah, or no, it's John Logan's daughter, and, did I have this wrong? Yeah, and then Graham. Why is it Wyatt? Yeah, Wyatt Graham, the twin. Yeah. So I really want to read this one. It's so big though, but yeah, I do have the audiobook for this one. So I want to get to this one, kind of this forbidden, like, she had a crush on him and it like didn't work out before. So I have this one I want to read. Then I still haven't read this, and I have this is the, I think, Owl Crate Special Edition, or is this just the, so pretty. But the second book is coming this summer. So I really want to read The Irresistible Urge. So I want to read this one. And then the other one is Catherine by S.M. La Violette. I have the audiobook for this one saved, and I always get behind on these, but she always gets behind on releasing them, so then I don't feel too bad when I get behind. But those are 3 that they've been out for a while, and I still haven't got to them that I want to get to. So, all right, so those are all the questions for the mid-year book freakout tag. And of course, like I said, if you want to do this, make sure you tag yourself in it. Make sure you do it. It's a great little thing to kind of check yourself in what your favorites are, what your least favorites are of the year so far, what you're looking forward to doing. And yeah, it was nice to kind of reflect on everything, and a nice little video where I didn't have to think too hard when my brain is needing a little bit of rest today. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see you next time.